go beyond borders.
Вы смотрите CNN.
Good morning, everyone. It's just past 6 a.m. here on the U.S. East Coast. I'm Hala Gorani.
And I'm Richard Quest, and you are most welcome to CNN's continuing coverage of the U.S. presidential election. Barack Obama has won re-election. This was the scene at the raucous victory party. Oh, I do like that word. Raucous victory party in his hometown of Chicago. It was confetti raining down on the stage as the president, the vice president, and their families soaked in the cheers.
So we have the party, but now here's the analysis for you. Mr. Obama won why? He rode a wave of support from moderates, women, and minorities that the Republican Party did not attract to win a second and final four-year term. After what has been a long, bitter, and divisive campaign, he pledged to bring the country together.
I believe we can seize this future together because we are not as divided as our politics suggests. We're not as cynical as the pundits believe. We are greater than the sum of our individual ambitions, and we remain more than a collection of red states and blue states. We are and forever will be the United States of America. And together, with your help and God's grace, we will continue our journey forward and remind the world just why it is that we live in the greatest nation on earth. Thank you, America. God bless you. God bless these United States.
It was a very different... Well, look at the picture. It tells it all. One picture tells 1,000 words. Subdued. It was Mitt Romney's campaign headquarters in Boston, in Massachusetts. Some of the Republican supporters openly wept at his defeat. It was a stark reminder of just how divided the United States remains and of the political gridlock that could lie ahead.
As for Mitt Romney, he told his supporters that his prayers are with President Obama at a challenging time for the United States. Listen to Mitt Romney.
I believe in America. I believe in the people of America. And I ran for office because I'm concerned about America. This election is over, but our principles endure. I believe that the principles upon which this nation was founded are the only sure guide to a resurgent economy and to renewed greatness. Like so many of you, Paul and I have left everything on the field. We have given our all to this campaign.
Well, I was going to say, you know, regardless of where you position yourself politically, when you have a man who's defeated, who immediately congratulates the winner.
Graceful.
Absolutely. And it happens in so few countries in the world. And that's something that I always keep in mind when you have a democratic system like this, and it's so rare to see immediately congratulating the winner and moving on politically.
I thought that speech was exceptionally graceful, the way it was, and even the crowd, normally they boo when he mentions, you know, I called the president as big. There wasn't any of that last night, or not as much of it. It was very graceful.
Something to think about when so many parts of the world now are trying to struggle to achieve their own democracies. John Mann is joining us now.
I was watching that speech. You know, I thought he was a little stiff, to be honest. This man had just endured the biggest, longest, most expensive, most public defeat of his life. And he just seemed like the same old Mitt. Didn't really change a whole lot. But it was an indication of just where this country has been through, the results that we saw, the numbers. Let's walk you through it, because the results are a little bit deceptive in a sense. If you look at the vote in the Electoral College, and that's what matters, here's the map. 270, the crucial number to win. Barack Obama won 303, putting him well over the top. Mitt Romney behind by nearly 100 Electoral College votes. Barack Obama won every state that always votes dependably Democratic, and he won virtually all of the swing states as well. Virtually all of the states that were competitive ended up going into the Obama camp, with the very notable exception, well, of a handful. But look at Florida in the Southeast. That's yellow because nobody has won in Florida yet. Another election in Florida, too close to call. They are still counting. We may have a result there in the hours to come, but the electoral map doesn't really need it. Barack Obama will win anyway. Astonishingly, though, when you look at the popular vote, it's a whole lot closer. Look at the numbers, 50 to 48. Now, there's some fragmentary voting for third-party candidates, but that essentially sets it up. It was not a big victory. It was smaller than Barack Obama's victory 4 years ago, but he is president once again.
But it was quicker and earlier than we'd anticipated.
It was quicker and earlier, and he did better than a lot of people thought he would,
Right.
and the reason was turnout. That was the crucial issue, and we saw it in the exit polls that we saw. We asked people all kinds of things about themselves when they left the polling places, and I'll give you a sense of what they found. When it came to the race of voters, we didn't really have to ask a whole lot about that, but white people voted for Mitt Romney. They tend to vote Republican anyway. Blacks, Asians, and Hispanics voted for Barack Obama. Let's drill down a little bit on that, because this is the fastest growing segment of the American political system. And when it came to Hispanics, Barack Obama won 71% to 27. Basically, a 3-to-1 margin in what is the most dynamic and probably important growing part of the political system here. Barack Obama won when it came to women. More women tend to vote than men, so that's a bigger voting bloc, and they voted for Obama. So he had a majority of a majority. Vote by population, he won big cities as well. Where he needed to win, he did.
If that is the case, and he did what you suggest, then where does that leave? Because that's the question today. Where does that leave the Republican Party? Where do they get their support from in the future?
Well, that's a really big problem. I won't be the first person to say this. America, the United States, has become more diverse at the same time that the Republican Party has become more homogeneous. And once again, let me take you back to the exit polls, because they tell us interesting things. White people tend to vote for Republicans. They voted for Mitt Romney. In this case, white people were 72% of the electorate. If they had been a bigger share of the electorate, if Mitt Romney could count on the support of 76% of the electorate being white, 78%, he probably would have won. Keeping this number at 75, 74, 72 and below, as Asian, Hispanic, and black communities take up a bigger part of the total population pie and a bigger part of the electorate, long-term, the demographics are against the Republican Party. They know it. It's something that even Mitt Romney has referred to in the past. That's a growing problem.
So the question is, what is the political calculation of the Republican Party now as we continue to watch pictures there of the celebratory moments in the Obama campaign? Because white men and women, as you said, demographically speaking, on the decline in this country. You've got Hispanics, you've got other minorities that the Republicans need to appeal to right now. What do they do?
Well, what they've done so far in this campaign is the wrong thing. We had two Republican Senate candidates both minimizing, if not trivializing, the idea of pregnancy as a result of rape. Now, think about how many men and women across the United States, but particularly women, are offended by that. And when it comes to Latin voters, Latinos, Hispanics, the Republican Party has got to find a new position on immigration.
And they got a thrashing, Aiken
Yes.
and Murdoch.
They
thrashing.
did. They got a thrashing, and Latinos...
Here's your lesson. If you trivialize rape, you lose an election.
That's right. So
women are voting.
No. But the issue there is not so much when somebody goes maverick and makes some obscene suggestions or goes off the ranch. It's whether the party disavows it and makes them clear that that's not part of their policy.
But they are the nominee for their
party. A bit of both, because what happened in this election, and this really was costly for Mitt Romney, is both of those references to rape took the message out of Romney's hands. He spent a week trying to address the Republican underlings, the Senate candidates, who captured the nation's attention. So those two Republicans not only cost their own party control of the Senate, that's a bigger issue, they cost Mitt Romney, and ultimately they contributed to what was a defeat that really he might have won.
Mm-hmm. And before we take a break, a quick word on Sandy, because that too had to have worked in President Obama's favor. He was perceived as being the commander-in-chief and handling a national disaster well.
Yeah, the simple truth is Sandy voted for Barack Obama, and that made a difference. Mitt Romney is not an elected official. He had no official role. His attempt to seem active, involved during Sandy, they organized a fundraiser, and then they brought most of the funds. It seemed ham-fisted, and Barack Obama was seen as effective. There were a lot of problems with the U.S. disaster response to Sandy, but Barack Obama wasn't blamed for them, and he was credited for looking involved.
All right, well, we'll continue our coverage. Richard and John Mann as well.
The morning after the night before. John Mann, we'll talk more about that in the hours ahead. When we come back, there is one overriding problem. It didn't matter who won last night. They are going to have to work out how to avoid the U.S. economy going over the fiscal cliff.
All right, that and also reinventing the Republican Party. That and more after the break as we continue to cover the election results here in the United States. Barack Obama reelected for another 4 years. Stay with us.
Still haven't found the secret to